Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Sienna Lee about Season 3 of Making the Cut, premiering on Prime Video August 19th. Thank you so much for doing this. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Peter.
It's
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Did your love and interest for fashion start at a very young age, or did it come a little later?
It started at a very young age, but it was not a very early focus of my life. But I have really natural passion about fashion.
Absolutely.
Like from 3 years old.
No, for sure. Absolutely. And I just feel like, you know, you're working and everything, and then this opportunity comes, this show. What's going through your mind when the opportunity to join this competition comes to be? Like, what are you thinking about specifically?
I was excited, but also intimidated. But I'm kind of a private person in my own life, and going to a reality show, I think it's a great opportunity to show off my work, but I was kind of feeling a little bit anxious about like how I'm as a person to be presented in a screen. So it's like mixed feelings.
Absolutely. Did you know about the show before you joined?
Yes, I know about the show, and I watched the first 2 seasons, and I was like, it was really exciting to join, but I feel like, oh my God, what's gonna happen?
I know, it is so crazy. And for people that don't watch Making the Cut, what can you tell us about the actual kind of competition and what we can expect and some of the things that you had to do specifically?
Making the Cut is a competition amongst 10 designers, and we have multiple episodes. Every episode, 1 or 2 designers may leave, and there's one winner every episode. People can buy the winning look from Amazon, and there are 2 looks from every designer designed 2 looks, 1 runway look, 1 accessible look. So people can buy the winning accessible look from Amazon, which is really exciting. You watch it and you wear it.
As a designer in the world of fashion, do you feel like because you're working, you're doing a lot of things and everything, but like, is it part of your job, do you think, to keep up to date with a lot of fashion trends, what's interesting, what people like, what people maybe aren't wearing, but I think there's going to be a market for this? Do you keep up with a lot of the fashion trends every day, or not as much as people think you do?
I probably a little bit different from other designers. I don't follow the trend. I don't care about the trend. I don't see what other designers do. A lot of brands I don't even heard of that everybody knows. I'm that kind of designer, stay in my own world. I got inspirations from nature and arts, something beyond fashion. So.
Oh, absolutely. It's pretty cool because, Making the Cut, Heidi Klum, Tim Gunn, it's such a big stage. It's Prime Video and everything. What was the first kind of week of being on the show like for you specifically? Like just seeing everything?
The first couple of days were really a honeymoon for everyone. We have done the first assignment at home and bring it to the show. For me, it was really no stress in the first 2 days because I pretty much done what I have to do. And seeing Tim and Heidi was so exciting to see them, alive right in front of you.
It's pretty crazy. What was the hardest thing about being on Making the Cut? What was something that was, like, in your opinion, the most difficult? Because I feel there's going to be a lot of things. There's going to be a lot of learning experiences. You're on camera. There's certain tasks that maybe you're not used to. But what was, like, the hardest thing you would say?
The hardest thing, definitely the time limit. For me, if you tell me before I participate in the show, like you need to make 2 looks of winter wear in one day, we need to make 1 look in 7 hours. I'll be like, you're crazy, you're like impossible. I wouldn't say it's ever be possible for me to make something, because I'm a designer, pursue high quality, well-made clothing, or I can't, but in a show, I have to manage my time, and nothing can be really perfect. I cannot pursue perfectionist. I cannot be a perfectionist, and I just need to achieve something presentable. I think that's the hardest thing to do. You need there are 2 voices in your mind what to do next. Yeah.
You're the first fashion designer to come on Popternative as a guest. Is that pretty cool?
Oh, wow.
First one.
Oh my God, I'm so honored.
It's pretty awesome. So I want to know then, because I always ask about fun facts, misconceptions about the industry. What is something you can tell me about working in fashion that is like a misconception or something people might not know about, or something that people kind of assume is about the world of being a fashion designer that is wrong or not true? Is there anything you could share with me about that?
Okay, a few things.
Okay.
Like before I'm being a fashion designer, this is my misunderstanding about what people do in fashion industry. Like I thought as a designer, you can just draw something and sketch clothing, and you can be a designer. But once I put 1 foot in the water, I was like, that's totally not true. You need to know so many things. Like you need to be professional. You need to know how to sew. You need to know how to make patterns. And this is all professional knowledge you need to have. Or you can be a fashion designer, or a serious one. Another misunderstanding is fashion designer doing whatever they want. They have a free job, they have free life. But it's really extremely stressful. It's our work is very, very intensive, not what it looks.
Oh, absolutely. No, thank you for sharing that, because I always find it interesting because, there are some people that are familiar with the world of fashion, but there's some people that don't know much about it at all. So I like kind of having the people that are going to watch this interview that know about fashion, but the people that don't know about fashion. So that's why I always ask the question about misconceptions and everything, because I find it very interesting to hear from that perspective, because that's your life. You've been doing this from a young age.
No, I actually studied literature early in my life. I got my master's degree, and then after 2 years, I graduated. I wanted to be a fashion designer. That's why I have some misconceptions. I thought I learned fashion sketching, I can be a designer. No, I couldn't. I learned sewing. No, I still couldn't. So I learned more and more things and started my own brand. That's my journey.
It's so interesting. Sienna, thank you so much for coming on Popternative. It was great to talk to you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Season 3, Making the Cut on Prime Video, premiering August 19th. You have an Instagram account, right, that people can follow as well?
Yes, Sienna Lee Official.
Amazing. This has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Look out for Sienna Lee in Season 3 of Making the Cut on Prime Video. Until next time, it's Sienna and Petey Beats signing off. Petey Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Yannik Zamboni about Making the Cut on Prime Video. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Petey. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's amazing. Is it safe to say that your love for fashion and designing came at a young age, or did it kind of rise for you a little later on?
I would say it rise a little later on. Okay. Like I always wanted to be creative, but I've never been creative. And yeah, I came actually very late, yes.
Oh, absolutely. What's the mindset, even before it's official that you're joining Making the Cut, you're going to be a contestant in competition, before it's official, what is your mindset about the possibility of joining like a fashion competition? Like, what is that? What are those questions you're asking? What are those thoughts like early, even before you sign on to the show?
Yeah, it's different things like, do I want to go to TV? Do I want to risk that people is laughing about me or not liking what I'm doing? So it's a lot of thinking. Do you want to expose yourself to people? But actually, you have to do that in fashion anyway. Yep. So why not in TV?
What is something you could say about fashion and designing, in your opinion, that is like a misconception? Like people assume fashion is like this, but it's actually not. Is there anything that comes to mind a little bit? Because I always find it interesting when I interview people from different facets of the industry, getting their opinions on kind of misconceptions, because there's a lot of people on social media, they think they know everything about everything. You know what I mean? So what's something about fashion misconception wise, in your opinion, or something that people might not know about fashion?
Well, everybody for sure thinks fashion is glamorous, and fashion is, first of all, a lot of work. Yeah. And you need to know it's a lot of work. It's similar like being an actor, or you know, like there is a few, you know, and you just know the really top one, and perhaps they got there with a lot of work, or also, you know, like with luck, but it's a lot of work to be successful in fashion. It's really a lot of work.
Absolutely.
And I think that could be a misconception.
Oh, 100%. It's interesting though, right? Because, you know, people, you're like, I'm a fashion designer, I work in fashion, and it's like, you know, some people have ideas of what it's like, but at the end of the day, like some people like don't really know what it's like at all, right?
Yeah, true. And the point is like there's the one different thing of studying fashion design and being actually able to do all the time what you love to do, or running a business in fashion, which, you know, like designing is perhaps 10% of the work you do, and the rest is emails, communication, PR, and all that other stuff that every company needs. So designing, I would love to have more time.
People always forget the administration component of any thing. Like they think it's just coming up with ideas for clothes all day.
Yeah, it's like at the end of the day, you have a business. You're not drawing or photoshopping all the day. You have to run a business. Yeah,
absolutely. No, 100%. All right. So in the beginning of the interview, you told me what was kind of going your mind about the possibility of joining a TV show and everything. So we got that out of the way. You're on the TV show. You have a very good week. You know, you win. What is that experience like, being there, being part of the competition, seeing Tim and Heidi? What's that kind of experience like the first couple of weeks of shooting it?
Well, I was very impressed how big everything is. I'm coming from Switzerland, from a small town. Yep. And I just imagined, you go there and there is some cameras around you, but you go there and the production is huge and everything is professional and all eyes are on you. So in the beginning, I was like scared, but you get used so quick to it. And like the other designers, as you saw, they're so good people and so fun people. And yeah, we were, like I said, we were a family working in front of the cameras.
It's cool because I see this with a lot of reality shows. Like I watch a lot of the cooking reality shows as well. You see it. You're competitors, but you're friends. So I always thought that was like an interesting thing. Like you're going head to head with a lot of these designers, but there's a good chance that you're going to become friends because you're always with them. Was that kind of a little difficult a little bit, knowing that you were like getting along with people, but at the end of the day, like they were your competitors?
No, because I think, you know, like compared to sports, you compete against each other and there is certain rules, and through those rules, there is a winner. But in that competition, you know, like you can give your best and some judges are going to decide who is, you know, good enough for next round or not, and not the not the other designers. So no, there is nothing that can stand between, you know, a good friendship in that kind of competition.
Did you have a chance to have conversations with Heidi and Tim? And if yes, these thorough conversations, what were those conversations like specifically, or with other contestants? Did you have a chance to have like conversations off camera with a lot of them, or?
Like off camera, there is not really a lot of moments off camera because you're constantly on camera. So you're focusing on what actually matter. So like with Heidi, Tim, Nicole, Jeremy, you talk about the show, you talk about winning this thing. And yeah, with the contestant, sometimes you have a sneaky moment offside the camera and you talk about some other stuff. Like, but yeah, mostly it was, we're there for the show, right? So we talked about the show.
On camera, like most of the time. There's a lot happening right now in fashion. There's a lot happening on social media. People look at big events where they want to see what people are wearing and everything. For you specifically, for Yannik Zamboni, what do you like trend-wise right now? What are you liking about the modes of fashion and the directions of fashion? What's interesting for you now in the world of fashion, trend-wise?
I think trend-wise, I like that some more designers going into the direction of deconstruction, of finding new ways to put pieces on a body, unconventional ways. And as well, like I saw thongs are coming back, people showing their thongs, doesn't matter their gender. And I think that's a good vibe, a good trend, and you should go for it.
Absolutely. Making the Cut, streaming on Prime Video. They're going to be able to see your episode soon. Yannik, thank you so much for coming on Popternative. It was so great chatting with you.
It was super great to be here. Thank you so much, Peter.
No problem. This has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Look out for Yannik's episode of Making the Cut on Prime Video. Until next time, this is Yannik and PD Beats signing off. PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Jeanette Limas about Making the Cut on Prime Video. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
This is exciting. Is it safe to say your love for fashion came at a young age, or did it come like a little later on in your life?
Well, I was like 17
Okay.
when I was like, okay, I want to do this. Definitely.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's interesting because I want to talk about your experience on the show and everything. You know, winning the week is so amazing and so exciting. But like, I just wanted to know, like, even before it's official that you're joining the show, what are kind of some of the questions and thoughts about the potential of like going on like a TV designer reality competition show? Like what's going through your mind, talking to your family and friends? I'm just curious about that a little bit.
Well, that's a great question. When you are creating, you are in your studio and it's all private. Nobody's watching you. You make mistakes and even really bad dresses and nobody see them. Yeah. In the cut, you are exposed. Like people see good stuff, bad sketches, things that you don't want nobody to see. And I was very scared about that part because you really don't have a corner to hide. People are gonna see you. Even if I get under the stairs, they're gonna see you, which I try to do it. I try. And then my family, the same thing. I didn't want them. I know it's tough because you're standing in front of the judges and they're either saying, I love your look, or no, like you going home. So you think about your parents, you think about your, friends, because they're going through this with you. It's not just you, it's everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm sure there's a lot coming to mind when the opportunity arises, for sure. I often ask questions when I interview people on my show, Jeanette, from different kind of facets of, whether it's, TV, film, fashion in your case, misconceptions, because there's a lot of people that know a little bit about fashion and some people don't really know much and they're interested in it. What can you tell me fun fact-wise or misconception-wise about designing and fashion that people might not know about? Is there any misconceptions? Is there any kind of fun facts that people might not know about fashion that you could share with us specifically?
I would say the main one is when people see prices and they are like, oh, why so much? It's just a jacket or it's just a dress.
Oh.
It depends on the material. Silk is expensive. So if the dress that you have in front of you has X price, check the content. Maybe it's Italian silk, and it is very expensive. Or maybe it was printed just in Italia and then it was sent somewhere else for another kind of treatment. It's just depend of that, because if it's maybe cotton, price will change. And also, if the pattern of the pieces that you're looking at is hard to make, that has a price.
That's so interesting. I love that. That was a great answer. That's so good. Because I think when I started this show, I love having kind of like the behind the scenes and everything, because there's so much kind of happening and people just look at fashion and it's true. It's like, why is this dress so expensive? You know what I mean? And we don't really think about those things. So we established, you said what your mindset was when the idea of joining Making the Cut came to be. Now we're going to go a little bit ahead. You're on the show, you're competing, you're meeting Tim, you're meeting Heidi. What's going through your mind, and what was that process like actually filming the episodes in the competition?
I hope you believe me when I say that the whole time, I didn't believe that was happening to me. I never have been in Los Angeles. I'm from the Dominican Republic. I wanted to go to Los Angeles one day, but I never thought it would be, I apply and then a couple of weeks later, I'm flying to Los Angeles. And then in front of Jeremy, Scott, Nicole, Heidi, which is gorgeous, and tall, which make you feel like tiny. And then you have, Tim Gunn there, which he's so knowledgeable. It was just so much going on. You didn't have a time to digest what was going on. It was like, go, 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 go. Mm-hmm. So that's what always was in my mind. Like, oh my God, am I here? This is really happening. Is this a dream? Because for your careers and as a designer, that you're still like, making your brand, this is huge. It's already changing everything for me. So I was just glad. I don't know if that is responding to your question. Just like
oh, absolutely. No, it absolutely does. Getting back to your misconception too, you mentioned like your brand, and I think people don't realize, like, people might say, oh, it's like fashion, designing, Photoshop all the time. People forget also it's your brand. It's a business too, right? That the admin stuff gets forgotten a lot as well.
Yeah, definitely. This is a business that you have. Listen, when you tell your family, I'm gonna be an artist, it's like, oh, you're gonna be poor. That's basically what they think. Yeah. So what we're all trying to do is do what we love, and at the same time live from this. Mm-hmm. So that's why, and I love what Making the Cut is doing. They're doing amazing high-end pieces in affordable prices. Yeah. And that's something that we all, are thinking about making, high-end silk garments, but also we can do the same dress in cotton, and it's going to be more affordable. Oh, absolutely. Very quickly also before we wrap up, I feel like there's so many challenges, so many difficult things about, the competition, the time, the challenges and everything. Are you able to narrow down what the hardest part about being on Making the Cut was? Was it the time? Was it the strategy? Was it the challenges? What was the hardest part for you, like competing on the show? Oh, I knew it would be the time. Yeah. let me tell you this that people don't believe. When they said you have a day, you have a day. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, I was about to say something, but I can't. When they say you have 7 hours or 3 hours or 8 hours, that's what you have. Yeah. It's not like TV magic. This is real. I thought it would be when I was watching it from home, the season, 2 and 1. I thought that we're like, but no. Yes, it's true. That's how. So it's the timing. And creativity is not really a switch that you can turn it on and off. Yeah. And that's what Making the Cut does. It's like, turn it on. You have to be creative now, which is crazy but exciting at the same time. And there's an appetite for people, there's an appetite for reality shows and competition shows. There's something about the competition shows. There's all the reality shows where they just put cameras on people. You see everything. There's something about those reality shows, the competitive component of it. It gives you a rush of adrenaline, I find, watching them specifically. Well, it's hard for me to watch, especially when I'm in front of the judges. And also, I didn't know that when I talk, I move so much my hands, and it's even to watch it, it moved my stomach because, it was real. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. People are going to be able to see your episode really soon on Prime Video, Making the Cut. Thank you so much for your time. It was so great chatting with you. Thank you for having me. You're amazing. So much energy. I love it. I'm stealing it from you. Absolutely. This has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Jeanette Limas from Making the Cut on Prime Video, and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.